Welcome to Fridays at 5. This week we will shed the light on the falsehoods of the left. We'll highlight the attacks on hunting in California, and we'll demonstrate the inconsistencies in the legislature and how predators are going wild. This week's Did You Know segments will focus as a double header, and we will highlight events coming to an area near you. The left is on a campaign to change the culture in California to be anti-Second Amendment. They're working to convince the average citizen that having any connection to this community is a moral outrage. This is done by what we saw this last weekend in Ventura, where groups like Never Again, March for Our Lives, the Brady Campaign, Moms to Men Action, and Indivisible held a rally about gun safety on Super Bowl Sunday. Not only was the timing of the event designed to create a false optic of support for their cause in front of the media, but the very topic was expanded to call for an end to hunting for fur. This demonstrates they are looking for ways to expand their real agenda at every point to further demonize those of us who are responsible gun owners. The attack on hunting in this state is real and seeks to malign those who choose to eat holistically and be a responsible conservationist. It is imperative that all of us understand a couple of salient points. For example, when I hunt for food, and I use every part of the animal, from food for my family to also using the pelt or fur for leather for my family. None of this is a trophy, but all of it is my way of taking responsibility of where my food comes from and honoring the sacrifice of that animal that provides it. 2, many of those who hate hunters finance a multi-billion-dollar industry that cares little for life and does little to protect the environment, whereas the average hunter spends hundreds of dollars and hours doing conservation work that benefits all of California's native species. 3, current legislative and regulatory policies are on the verge of bringing some of those very California native species to the brink of extinction, all while in the name of false conservation models that harm our wildlife and line the wallets of the very people who run them. The California legislature, as an example of 2 conflicting pieces of legislation designed to give big government more control of your daily decision making. Remember, big government doesn't recognize your degree, your life experiences, or expertise as valid for deciding without their loving overreach. Assembly Bill 44 would make it illegal to sell, trade, gift, or donate any fur product in the state unless you trap the animal yourself. Think about it for a moment. The marketplace can decide that any animal-based product is bad and not purchase it. As a result, the practice will cease. When big government legislates, they're saying they don't trust you to decide what is right. Assembly Bill 273 makes it illegal to trap fur-bearing animals. So which is it? The impact of these laws are huge on the future of species in this state. The removal of just dogs from bear hunting has seen the carrying capacity of the state exceeded by the current bear population. The facts are that hunters never had really any impact on the bear population in California that was ever negative. Now, in just 7 years since the passage of Senate Bill 1221, we have bears in areas where bears never were and doing irreparable damage to other species. The same will happen with these proposed mismanagement pieces of legislation based on emotion and not sound, proven, scientifically backed conservation models. Did you know? This week's term is carrying capacity. What does it mean? Carrying capacity is the number of a given species that the natural environment can sustain a healthy population without damaging that same environment or negatively impacting other species that live within that environment. The California black bear has exceeded the carrying capacity of the state by a few thousand. This is resulting on other species such as deer having a declining population and an imbalance in nature. The Khabib Plateau in northern Arizona is demonstrative of what happens when humans mismanage wildlife populations, as in that case, the deer population increased to the point of starvation, which is where we're headed with our bears at the detriment, in the meantime, of other species. Our double header for Did You Know is Did you know who does more for our state's conservation efforts? Many of you would answer environmental groups. However, according to former Governor Jerry Brown in 2013, he stated, hunters and anglers are the original conservationists. Since the 1930s, hunters have done more than any other community to conserve species and their habitats, and that's a lasting conservation legacy, end quote. It's good to know the truth. In other areas of the state, we are going to see multiple events that you can take part in, such as upcoming in the month of March, whether it be in Long Beach, Bakersfield, or in San Diego. The Fred Hall shows are something not to be missed. And coming up in April, as we'll tell you on future Fridays at 5, will be the CRPA's own influenced crawfish boil coming up again in April. Thank you for watching this week's edition of Fridays at 5. Be sure to follow us on social media. Keep up to date on the latest Second Amendment news. Links, as always, are in the description down below. Thank you for watching, and remember, be safe, shoot straight, and fight back for your rights.